recorded.
No, I just started it.
I don't know if that was recorded. That was like weird. I just took a breath and it just came out. Oh, we're recording. Okay. Ready? And welcome to another episode of the Dynasty Trades HQ podcast. My name is Michael Sipes. You can find me on Twitter at FFBlitz. And I'm here with my partners. I guess if you could see the video, it's up there. Jeremy is lip syncing to what I'm saying, but Jeremy Broen.
Hey, you can find me on Twitter at Dynasty Madman. I am the most active tweeter in the world. Just check out my profile.
What? Is that true? I don't know if that's true.
No, I don't. I've been off the grid a lot lately. I apologize to all of you. You're missing so much content. I'm sorry. I will get better. I'll be better.
Shane Manila. He says he's the most active tweeter in the world. I don't even know if he's the most active tweeter in the three of us in this room.
Yeah, I would say
I'm definitely not.
Yeah, definitely not the most active tweeter. I'm that Shane is the worst on the Twitters. Check us out. All right, we got the new show. Welcome to episode 265.
265er.
Is that what we're up to? Yeah, and by the way, if you look on iTunes and you look at our list of episodes, and sometimes you can see that there's a number missing somewhere, it's not that we didn't do an episode. It's that week we decided to do one just for our patrons. So there are some weeks where the only way you can hear the show is if you're one of our patrons. So maybe before we get started with all this stuff, tell everybody about the patrons. Shane.
Patrons always get more stuff than non-patrons. So the weeks when we're like, I don't feel like recording for 4 hours. We're just going to do one show this week. Who do you think gets this? Who do you think gets that show? Patrons. Uncensored episode, patrons. Written content, patrons. I just had a hard-hitting, this week I dropped a video for the patrons, hard-hitting, about the Demir Hamlin situation. And
I got to watch that.
I don't want to go through it again, but you got to check it out on Patreon. Very hard hitting. It was like I was like a news journalist basically on the video. But yeah, no. Patrons get much better stuff than non-patrons. Plus, you get some swag. And I know we got some new patrons. I got to actually reach out to them. A couple of them gave me their addresses. I know where you live now.
I know where you live.
But we got a couple other newer ones that I got to get their addresses. So come become a patron. Jump in the group me chat with us. Iron sharpens iron. That's where I go if I have trade questions.
That's cool.
Community content and pub and Dynasty.
What's pub?
Hub.
Oh, it sounded like you said pub. I was like, what?
Although, I mean, pub, me and one of our patrons, who is also a podcaster on the Coast to Coast Dynasty show, Ruben Almeida. We made a bet. He is a San Francisco fan because he's from stupid Los Angeles. I, obviously, being a Philadelphia fan because I sound like this, we made a bet where we're betting some kind of good bourbon, which I don't know what it's called.
Well, he suckered you into that, huh? Good bourbon.
Yeah, I don't. You know me. I don't know what to drink.
Pappy Van Winkle. I hope he didn't make you buy that. That's not cheap.
What is the bet, actually? What do you have to do then?
Well, I got the Eagles, and we're going easy. I got the Eagles, and he's got San Francisco. And then the winner,
obviously,
whoever's team to lose, has to buy the other guy this fancy drink. What is it? Jefferson Starship? What is it?
What?
Oh, so you have to buy him like a whole bottle when he wins?
Yeah, well, he won't win, so he's going to have to buy me a whole bottle.
Why? You don't think the Brock Purdy fantasy train that's happening is not going to roll over the Eagles?
I can't wait to see it all end this weekend at the feet of Hassan Reddick and Jefferson's Ocean. Yeah, apparently that's the fancy drink that we're buying.
Jefferson's Ocean. Yeah, Jefferson's is good. That might even be in the Pappy Van Winkle family. I don't know. I drink a little bourbon. Not too much anymore, but if you're gonna sip it, the good stuff, you notice the difference. So yeah, man, you're gonna be drinking some good bourbon because the Niners are not gonna win that game. I'm totally with you, and I don't want you to get your second Super Bowl in as long as we've been doing this show because it's totally unfair to me and Mike, first of all. But I don't think the Niners have what it takes.
Yeah, but wait. Is the bet, you said a drink. Is it just one shot or is it a
bottle of bourbon?
So how much is the bottle? How much is the bottle?
I don't know.
You're looking at it.
$90, maybe $80, $90.
Looked it up. I saw you looking
80,
at
$90.
No, I looked up in the group me chat because that's where.
Okay.
Because I
And they have,
knew
they have like
Jefferson
different they have different ones too, but it's probably like 75, 80 bucks.
there's one
90
that's like
bucks.
85
It's like
bucks,
it's
74 bucks.
$94 bottle or something.
It's a little
all
more
right, so
than
it's
what
not
I
that big.
usually
There you
spend on
go.
drinks because I drink.
So $100
moonshine
on a
and
game. That's
turpentine.
fair.
I'm from Philadelphia, whatever.
Turpentine.
Huff gasoline.
Oh my God. So look,
Oh
we
my
are
God.
videotaping this too. So we're putting, well, not, I just said videotaping. All right. We're visually recording this. So it'll be on
just
YouTube.
dated
also.
yourself.
I know. But a lot of times when we've been doing the show over the last 5 years, I always make jokes and comment, oh, if you could just see Shane, or if you could see what Shane's doing or whatever. Now people that watch this will see Shane looking down, doing other things while we're talking and everything. So that's why I actually pointed out that you were looking at the drink. I thought you were looking at it.
I'm sharing the drink now. Looking at it, Jefferson's Ocean Aged Bourbon. Oh, here's the one. Okay, this is the one he needs to buy me if the Eagles win. Jefferson's Presidential 18-year-old Select Batch Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, $24,999.
Well, he's gonna.
Specific.
Is this? What is the wow? What does this bourbon come with?
For just one bottle of bourbon,
$4,000 for a bottle of bourbon.
Wow. And it's only 18 years old. You'd think it was like 100 years old. Whoa. Jesus I was like, what happened? Oh my God.
Right,
look at that.
That's just ridiculous.
Wait, anyway, and Jeremy, you're talking, but you're muted.
So let's say that.
Jeremy, you're muted.
Oh, no, I'm not talking. I was just laughing because he shared that and I could see it down below. I added it to the stream.
That's awesome. Do we have to give somebody rights for that if we do that?
No.
I know. I'm just kidding.
All right, well, bourbon for people
we got some news here.
Free advertisement.
We got some news here, and but before we do the news, look, I'm obviously for you. I hope you're right. I hope your Eagles win. And for people out there like Ruben, I hope you guys are right. I hope your 49ers win. At this point, I have no horse left in the race, so I don't really care which way that wins.
Well, you gotta root for Philly, because look at it this way: who's more likely to riot if there's a loss? Philadelphia. You don't want that happening. You're not that far from us. We could come.
I was gonna say I'm in South Florida. I don't care.
We could.
I don't know, man. I mean, you don't know. There's a lot of homeless in San Francisco. It could get ugly. I've been there.
You're right. But you're right, Shane. We've been together for over 5 years doing this and everything, and I know how much you like them. So, all right, for you and for my friend Lee, I'll root for the Eagles. That's fine.
And let us know when it's over how it feels for your team to make it to the AFC Championship game, because I had my wife tell me how it feels for her team to make it to the Super Bowl last year. I like to know how it feels because I will never share in your joy in the same way. I like to understand it. Thank you.
Well, if we make it to the AFC Championship, then something's gone wrong. They've just realigned all.
I mean, the championship game and the Super Bowl. Hey, let me know how it feels.
Speaking of my friend, though, Shane, I want to ask you a question. Last week, when there was a possibility that this week's game could have been the Eagles and the Cowboys, would you have liked that opportunity? Like for him, he lives in Dallas. He hates the Cowboys. So I was telling him how that would be the literal best and worst case scenario you could ever have. Because if the Eagles lost to the Cowboys, it'd be the worst thing ever. But if the Eagles beat the Cowboys, it'd be the best thing ever. You know, do you care one way or the other about the Cowboys?
No, the Cowboys don't matter to me because they're not a team that is usually in contention. Like even this year when they beat the Eagles, it took all their might for them to beat the Eagles without Jalen Hurts. So I knew they were a joke. Their defense was a joke. I know their fans are a joke.
He said a joke. Their owner's a joke.
Dallas is a joke of a city. They don't even play in Dallas. So that's a joke. They play outside of Dallas, unlike the Philadelphia Eagles, who play in the heart of Philadelia. No, Dallas. I don't.
That's just brave. Playing in the heart of Philadelphia.
Right? Look, that takes balls. Yeah, like we get there's carjacking, shootings, cars getting stolen left and right in Philly. You got to have a tough skin to play here.
You know, I went to
agree.
the NFL draft in Dallas that year, and I didn't even realize, you're right, that stadium and everything is not technically in Dallas.
It's not.
You know,
They're
I
not the
did.
Dallas Cowboys. They're like the Arlington Cowboys or something. I
It's a
don't know
cool
where they
stadium
play.
though. I like the
Arlington,
stadium.
Virginia.
It is an
But
awesome stadium. Yeah.
yeah, it was pretty cool. So, all right, so we do
Yeah, it's in
have.
Arlington, Texas. I don't know where that is.
Yeah, that's
It ain't
it. Yeah,
Dallas.
it's
Anywho,
not
sorry.
Dallas.
You know what was weird? What was weird though was the stadium's right here, and like in a circle around the stadium, there's a bunch of bars and restaurants, but then there's like nothing out. Like I was expecting the big cities that I saw watching Dallas, the TV show and everything, and they're like, "Oh no, you're in Arlington. You're not even in Dallas." You know, we never even end up going to Dallas when we were there, but it was cool to draft though in that stadium. It was so big. It was nice. But all right, so we were talking about, we had some news, but before we do the news, Shane, tell everybody about Dynasty Nerds.
Oh, check out Dynasty Nerds. I'm not going to even lie to you. If you sign up for them, we get some money out of it. So go ahead and sign up for Dynasty Nerds using promo code TradesHQ, because I get excited when I see the email that we got an affiliate reward. But I also like Dynasty Nerds. I read their work. I like their GM tool a lot. And Nerd Herd is awesome. And they're awesome guys. It just so happens that I do like them. But even if I didn't, I'd still pitch them to you because I get
Nice.
a reward every time
That's
you
funny.
click on them. It just so happens that it's a good product.
I like the
First of
prospect
all-
video room too. It's fun. Their rookie stuff. Good work.
And we get a reward.
We get a
not
reward. Yeah,
you.
yeah,
We.
yeah. I don't
You
mean-
said
yes.
I get a.
I meant like I as in a group of HQ.
I'm joking.
I
We're not
am
just
more
our friends.
for
It's a
HQ.
professional relationship.
No, yeah, we like.
No.
Look, I'm not gonna lie to you. There's been some things that we've pushed in the past that I really didn't like, but you know, they gave us money, so I had to say I like them. But these guys, I actually like, and I like their work, and it's a good product.
You know what, though, what you just said, that was pre this being our own show. There was other people involved with those kind of affiliates. Since we took over, we've liked the people we've done.
But there was some stuff in the beginning that might have been like offshore gambling sites that I'm not sure were quite legal. Might have been, and I'm not alleging that this is true, but they might have been just like laundering services for the Armenian mob or something.
And we might have never gotten any money from it.
Yeah.
And
but yeah, it was
that
fun
had
do for a
nothing to do
year.
with us. That was other people made those
No,
decisions, not the
at
three
all.
of us.
Yeah.
We did not make those decisions. Okay, well, cool. Either way, top story, Frank Reich. Talk about that with the Panthers.
So,
Oh my god!
you know, I was more excited about this. First of all, I love Frank Reich, right? Because he helped the Eagles with the Super Bowl. I was a little more excited than this before I started looking up the stats. Because I'm just like, and I'm not alone in this. I know everyone's like, "Oh, Frank Reich, that's a great coach. That's a great hire for your offense, right?" Maybe for real football, I don't know. Because, well, I don't know. I didn't look that up. But for fantasy, my dude's got 9 seasons as a head coach or an OC. Do you want to know how many seasons he's had a top 8 quarterback?
2.
Sure.
2. Spot on, Jeremy.
I mean, you got to be lucky to be good. That's all I know.
You want to know,
Jeremy? Wait. I was weighing the fact whether I should say the answer because it's right there in front of our faces.
I know. I did too.
Instead, I fed to him and I said, "No, how many?" But you read it off the piece of paper.
How many top 12 quarterback seasons has he had?
I don't know how many.
It's not on the sheet.
3. He's had 1, 2,
Oh
3,
my God,
4 seasons. He's had 3 top 12 seasons. He's also had 4 seasons where his quarterback has finished as the QB 21 or worse. So that's not great for fantasy.
That's bad.
That's no bueno. Then we go to the other position that we really like, wide receivers. Really like those. So he's had 4 top 21 wide receiver seasons. 4.
So
the best finish, wide receiver 18 in 2021. Michael.
It's awful,
Pittman.
dude. It's awful.
Never had a wide receiver finish in the top 12.
Okay, so do you attribute that to the pieces that he had to work with or to his coaching style?
Probably the pieces. I mean, that's the thing. Unless you're a genius coach, you generally can't turn tomatoes into tomato soup. You know what I mean? I think that's
Yeah.
the saying.
Jeremy, you were
Lemons into
shaking your head in all
lemonade.
different directions. What are you saying?
I know you can't turn lemons into lemonade. Is that what you're saying? Unless you're
Something like that.
yeah.
All right. So then with the pieces that he's
But you
getting
know what?
now in
So
the Panthers, does that matter? Like,
Well,
what
here's
do you
one
think?
thing. So he did have a top 8 season with, guess who? Carson Wentz. Back when Carson Wentz was good.
Oh,
Matter of fact, he was the QB. What do you call that guy? He was the QB4 on the season in fantasy scoring overall in 2017.
I totally forgot about that.
So then he got
9 seasons.
yeah, and then he got the head coaching gig in the Indianapolis the following season, and the QB finished as the QB8 overall. I'm just looking that up to see if that was.
That's
Andrew
not.
Luck.
That's not bad.
Was that Andrew Luck?
What year?
That was Andrew Luck. Yeah, it was his last.
in that year.
Last season. So when he's had a good quarterback at that time, this is when Carson Wentz was still good. They produced, and when he had a Hall of Fame level quarterback, they produced.
He forced him to retire when he had a Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he did force him to play. Yeah, maybe he does the players, and then running backs have fared better. He's had 3 top 6 running back seasons.
Did you say Michael Pittman at one point? Didn't you say Pittman?
Yeah,
Pittman was the wide receiver, 18.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Or 2021.
So that's my point then. So you could say he has these stats and stuff, but it would be based on the players that he has. So taking over the Panthers, the way the Panthers look right now, what are the pieces that he has to work with?
No quarterback.
DJ Moore.
Whatever quarterback they draft. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Well, who do they have right now?
Who
do they have right now?
He's recovering from a torn ACL.
And I like him a lot.
Oh, and Sam Darnold still. So no, that's not great. Yeah, they're going to be drafting a rookie quarterback.
I think
That's
so.
not great, Bob. So wait, so they drafted Matt Corral last year, who, like you said, got hurt. So they're going to draft a rookie quarterback, and then DJ Moore. But what other pieces do they have? Anything? Because if they don't have any other pieces, and you've just stated all these stats of what he's done, then it doesn't look like it's going to be that great for fantasy, at least.
It looks like it's going to be ugly without the players. He's going to get some, though, I hope.
Hello?
What? Yeah, I assume they're going to draft a quarterback. They're probably going to add a wide receiver. They don't have a tight end, so they need a tight end. They traded away Christian McCaffrey, so obviously they need a running back, but they have a decent offensive line.
Okay.
So we'll see what Frank Reich does.
The only reason I asked that question is to loop around the whole point that you were trying to make of all these numbers. You said he took over as the coach. You asked us, do you know what he's done in the past?
He threw you a softball, man.
You tell us everything he's done in the past. So I'm trying to say, so what is the reason you brought it all up?
Because I like stats.
Well, he did well with the Eagles, too. And, yeah, I mean, I don't think he's going to fare poorly. That team, though, no matter who's the coach, needs a quarterback. But they draft at, pick 9 if they don't move it? I mean, who are they going to get at 9? I mean, I think 3 or 4 quarterbacks go in the first round. I'm not sure. I guess no one is until the NFL draft. We're surprised all the time by how few go, too, as we were last year. But let's say 3 quarterbacks, 4 quarterbacks go. Number 9's pick 9 is a good place to be this season. I mean, a lot of different needs above them, teams who already have quarterbacks. So, I mean, foreseeable, yeah, maybe Will Levis drops to that, to the 9th spot overall or something. They definitely need to make some moves.
Yeah, and Will Levy, I mean, it might not even be Will Levy since he's pretty consistently been mocked as the first or second quarterback off the board for reasons that I don't understand, but it doesn't matter because I don't get to pick in the draft.
Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, or
I don't know.
Look, if they get lucky and CJ Stroud falls to them, I don't know. And obviously they can move up. They're one of the teams that it probably behooves them to move up and get the quarterback that they want.
The Raiders are above them, and they could always draft a quarterback.
You know who else needs a quarterback?
The Seahawks.
Well,
a
no.
lot of teams need a quarterback.
Well, the Texans.
Specifically, one that's near and dear to you. I just want to bring this up.
This speaks to the next topic on the list.
We're going into Twitter bits, I see then.
Yeah.
Twitter bits.
So wait, before we go into wait, shut up. Before you go into Twitter Bits, explain to people what Twitter Bits is, please.
Oh my
It's
God.
some shit I found on Twitter and I found interesting, and then I put it on the show sheet so we can talk about it.
And you used to want to have like a song for it and pictures for it
Did I?
and stuff. Yeah, you said you wanted to have like its own theme song and
I
stuff
got
like that.
Well, we don't do theme songs. We don't really have bits anymore. So,
But if we're doing these videos like we're doing tonight, we need to have like this flashing Twitter bits go on the screen and everything,
would you
Exactly.
like me to make that right now? I'm gonna
No.
make-
Oh no.
But
Hey, stay
I
tuned.
just
Wait.
wanted to I just wanted to set the precedent for you to say what it was. Fine, whatever. Go with your Twitter bits. It's about Tua.
Next time it'll be a theme song. So Tua Tagovailoa is still in concussion protocol. Won't be in the Pro Bowl. I don't know why he was elected to the Pro Bowl anyway. He was a first alternate.
Right.
No setback, but mind you, he was concussed a month ago, his third concussion, and he's still in the concussion protocol.
Isn't it only his third? Look, there's Twitter bits at the
third,
bottom.
fourth.
It's his, no. I was gonna say it's only his third confessed concussion. Isn't there like technically a fourth one that people think?
Well, there's the one that we all watched on television where he fell down, and they told us, no, that was not a concussion. He fell down because I forget what was the story they told us.
His ankle or something when he stood up.
He didn't hit his head. Yeah, right.
Yeah, gravity didn't like him or something at that moment. I don't remember what it was.
He didn't use gravity as an excuse. Okay, so your point is that it's a month later and he's still in the concussion protocol. So this is serious. So
are you? Where are you at with him? Are you worried about him? Because I got to be honest with you, in fantasy, this has been a hard fall because I loved him going into the year past, not this year, the year prior. He let me down.
Right.
And I didn't like him at all last year. And then he performed okay in a few games and then got injured. And now I'm scared of him again. And I want no parts of him. Like, do you want him?
That's the problem. I look in the off season before this season started and we got Tyreek Hill and all that kind of stuff. I remember on doing the show saying that I want him. Remember, even in HQ6, we did our startup and I traded up to get him because I was hoping. I wasn't. Hey, listen. Hey, it worked out good until he got freaking hurt.
Yeah, I was all aboard too. We were going after him, Mike. We thought he was a buy, but not anymore. Like, I'm not buying him anywhere.
Well, except for that, how was the play, Mrs. Lincoln?
But that's God, shut up. That is horrible. First of all, the fact that you laugh at that is just so funny. No. What you asked what I think. Me personally, I loved when he played and everything, but it hurts to watch him get hurt, whether it's my team or another team, to see him get these concussions multiple times. It's like, no, I know you're talking about fantasy. So my point is how can you even have any kind of confidence if you go into next season and in week 1, he gets hit really hard and he gets a concussion? It's just like, I can't see investing in him anymore. I can't. If I knew that he was going to be perfectly healthy, then yes, I would, because I think he did great when it was Waddle and him and Tyreek Hill and all that stuff. They were playing great, but it just seems to me that he could easily get hit one more time and then get another concussion. I don't see how he personally could ever play again. I believe he's going to want to.
And for Joe Burrow fans and for any other fan of quarterbacks, your team needs to invest in the offensive line. Please, for the love of God. For fantasy
I believe
football.
he wants to play. I believe Dolphins want him to play, but you're right, Jeremy. Even if you do invest in that line and then say one of those guys get hurt, the moment one of those guys get hurt, and then the next guy comes through and plows through him, he's going to get hurt
for their
again.
next quarterback, because after four NFL concussions, who knows how many he's had before this? I mean, that dude probably needs to hang up the cleats and go do something else. I mean, become a YouTube star.
So I guess
for fantasy, I don't know what you do with him though. Who's gonna take him off your hands? Who's gonna buy him?
Looking,
some gambling folks, some gamblers will do it.
That's why I'm looking on the DLF. I don't see a lot of recent trades for him. The most recent trade was from like January 6th, and someone traded Tua, David Montgomery, and KJ Osborne for Zach Wilson, Saquon Barkley, and Devin Singletary. I would slam dunk that Saquon Barkley side.
Well, and what's
Yeah,
funny
no,
is
for sure.
that's not even a Tua trade. That just happens to have Tua in it.
He's just in it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a Tua trade.
He was the add-on. He was the plus
Yeah,
one
yeah.
for that trade.
If you're gonna look at the DLF trade finder, then find a trade that has some kind of semblance.
Yeah.
that it's
I
How
gotta
about
be
if I
honest.
throw
involves
Tua in and you send me Zach Wilson back? Because chances are, even though Zach Wilson sucks, he hasn't had 4 concussions and he might play some football. So let's do
Not
Yeah.
a lot. I've got one here, but it's only start one quarterback. But someone traded David Montgomery in a second for Tua. Like, why would you do that?
How long ago was that?
It was
this. Gross.
2 weeks ago.
That's
Really?
horrible.
That is
Don't ever
weird.
do
Yeah,
that.
why would you do that? Look, like I said, there's some people that sit back and don't care about the concussion stuff and say, "Oh no, he's going to play. I don't give a shit if he gets hurt." But it just seems way too risky. Even if he comes back and says he's 100% healthy, he's going to get hit again. He's small.
Would you? Let me ask you this. Would you? Well, remember, and just as a obviously not the same position, but remember there was a time when we were concerned like this for Brandon Cooks because it seemed like seemingly he had not seemingly, he definitely had multiple concussions in one season.
And we said if he gets one more, he's out.
Yeah,
He's done. And he's been.
And somehow he hasn't had any since then, which is all right, whatever. That we know of. But so just to put the point on that is that he's gone out and had multiple productive seasons since that time. So if someone were to offer you Tua for your 206 and a regular old 12-team Superflex, what are you doing?
I don't know. In a second round
No.
pick?
You have to pick.
I know.
Man,
I'm
I'd want a
saying,
quarterback
you're saying
back.
a
I always try to get a
second-round pick?
quarterback back. Don't you, Mike? I always try to get
Yeah.
a quarterback on the flip side,
No,
even if it's just a backup.
no,
No.
I try.
No. Somebody's giving me the quarterback for the 206.
For the 206.
I don't have to add anything to it. They're
so
saying,
don't
would
do
you
that.
take the quarterback for the 206?
Would you take Tua?
I probably would. Only because I still think, like I said, I still think he's going to play again. I don't think he's going to go away. I think he's going to take the offseason and say to you guys, hey, I'm ready to play again. I want to play. He doesn't seem like there's any indication that he doesn't want to play anymore. Whether he should or not, I don't think so. And if he gets hurt, he's going to get hurt. But at 206, and you're talking about, what is that? That's the 18th, 19th pick in a rookie draft. I guess it would depend on what I have on my team. But
God, pick a side.
You always say you have to pick a side in a vacuum. What if I already have
literally asked you a question to pick a side?
Because it's just a fun game. What side do you want?
Okay, so then in a vacuum, then yes, I would take it. Without knowing what I have either way, I probably would take Tua.
You take Tua over the 206. Okay.
Yeah, I guess.
Fair enough.
Because I know how hard it is to get a quarterback.
Hypothetical, by the way.
And
okay,
that's
how about
fine
this one?
Because that's all my teams right now anyways. I trade my picks away. You're asking somebody that trades their picks away all the time anyways. I trade my picks away all the
Tua
time.
Tagovailoa or Brock Purdy. Go, Mike.
No, I
This
time I'd probably want Brock Purdy.
I'd
probably want Brock Purdy because you guys know I like him because it's fun and I have him in places that I like him. But
over the 206, the same thing.
Well, no, because I can't get Brock Purdy with the 206.
No, look, I mean, it's probably not. Well, you should be able to, but probably not.
You can't. But look,
the 206 for Brock.
Speaking of, you have Brock Purdy.
Oh, I would give the 206 for Brock Purdy. If somebody wants to send me Brock Purdy right now for the 206, I'll give it to
There you go, kids at home.
But you wouldn't trade Brock Purdy for a late first-round draft pick.
I didn't say that. I told you I wouldn't do that in HQ1.
Well,
look, I don't care what you say about vacuums. It matters. If I don't have any other quarterbacks on my roster, then no, I won't trade Brock Purdy for the late first.
I just don't think that Brock Purdy is, him defending against the barbarian hordes entering the walls of Rome is going to save you. I got to be honest with you. If that's the difference, you're in trouble.
Brock Purdy is Rome. Brock Purdy is a Rome in general, and the hordes are going to get him, is what you're saying. The Huns,
first of all,
the hordes are going to get Purdy, the Roman. Yeah.
coolest part of anything from football last week was when Paul Heyman introduced Brock Purdy, or introduced the game and talked about Brock Purdy. But look, you know me, I've always liked the idea that I don't care if he was free. I don't care if I picked him up off of waivers. If for some reason he's playing well and they're saying he's going to be the starter and I have a chance to have a starter, even if I got him for free, I don't think I should just trade him away just for anything because I got him for free. But you're right. We don't know that he's going to do anything, but apparently everybody keeps saying that he's going to be the starter next year. And Jeremy, the coolest thing, Jeremy, I saw today on ESPN, they were talking about him. And one of the commentators said, the Trey Lance thing, sometimes you have to look at sunk cost. And I was like, holy shit, Jeremy, because he said sunk cost.
I know a lot about sunk cost, and you have to walk away. Yes.
That's Jeremy's big thing is sunk cost. But it was cool to hear them talk about sunk cost on ESPN when they were talking about Trey Lance.
That's awesome. So. I like how you're in white and I'm in black. We're actually the opposite, like the good cowboy and the bad cowboy.
Yeah, and I'm not allowed to ask questions about a trade. I have to only do stuff in a vacuum.
No, you don't. It's just, it's fun to do that. He stumps you with
the hypothetical, and he's trying to set a counter. All right. Well,
yeah, but because if you just say it as those two things, then somebody's going to take that advice and just go with it without thinking of the other parts to it. I don't know. Whatever. Good point. Let's talk about some trades, okay? We've got quite a few on the show sheet. You want to? There's trade alerts coming across the bottom.
Trade alert.
I got to go get some drink water here because I'm dehydrated. But you guys, I'll be right back. You got to kick off that first trade. I'm looking at it. Jeremy, go ahead and announce your first offer.
The trade that I actually sought advice. Yeah, it's on Flea Flicker. I mean, we have a couple leagues still on Flea Flicker. It's good. What's
Jeremy? What? How perfect is this? You always make comments that the trades are always about Shane. This first time, the trade is about you, and Shane leaves to go get a trade.
He walks away. He's like, I'm not even interested. It's not my trade. That's funny, man.
So go ahead. What is your trade?
Yeah, if you watch the show at all, or I should say listen to the show at all over the years, you know that Shane trades. He's the madman. I'm going to trade handles with him. But yeah, this is on Flea Flicker. And, say what you want about Flea Flicker. I actually like it. This is one of the longest running Dynasty leagues I'm in from when I got on Twitter, I don't know, 10 years ago or something. It's one of my first Twitter leagues, people that I met on Twitter. And, it's called Super Flexing in the Mirror. And the guys who started it are no longer in the league. And I and a few of my friends, guys that are in it, I brought friends into it. And so we kept the league going. And so I'm the Golden Tate Warriors. And I got this offer from Swags, our buddy Swags, who I brought into this league a few years back. And he wants Daniel Jones like no tomorrow. I mean, he really wants Daniel Jones. And I don't care. I don't really care at all. But I was trying to get the best deal I could. So we went back and forth a few times. Ultimately, this is the deal that I accepted. Sent Daniel Jones in a second-round pick in 2024 for a first-round pick in 2024. Not sure where that's going to be. It says 1.7 here, but we don't know until the next season plays out. But I insisted on getting a quarterback back in the trade, like somebody. I tried for Jimmy Garoppolo at first because I feel like he's somebody that no matter what team he gets on, he's probably going to get me some points here and there, maybe be a starter, get a chance to compete for a job, whatever. Not ideal, but it gets me something back for Daniel Jones. So I got Darnold and that first round pick. That was really enough, I felt, for Daniel Jones because I wanted that first, and I'm beginning to rebuild. I used to be a contender, and I won, and I've had some good seasons, but I definitely need to get some young blood on this team and rebuild. So that first round pick gets it, and the fourths are just a bonus. I know one of them's in 2025, Mike, right? We don't really plan ahead that much. I might not be alive. That's way too far ahead, but those are just throw-ins. So I got the first and Darnold, for Jones in the second. What do you think about that? It's just a typical super flex league. No real bonuses for PPR. It is what it is. I think Shane's on board. I think he likes this deal because they got the first round pick. What do you think?
Well, I agree with you
like it?
And Shane. I like it.
It's not exciting. It's not exciting
Daniel
at all.
Jones. Yeah, you started off explaining this trade by saying he wanted Daniel Jones and you just don't care about him. So you don't even
Right.
care. You don't even want the player. So you're just trying to get the best that you could get out of him. And if you're happy with that package, then that's good. The fact that you could get a first out of him for a player you don't care about. What are your other quarterbacks on the team? I always have to
That
ask.
is actually a great question. I should have gone there already
Is it
because I
Sam
know you
Darnold?
always ask that question. No, that's not my only quarterback. But like I said, I'm rebuilding. I've made some other trades. I'm trying to get picks. I wanted a 2023 pick, but I ended up with the 2024. It's the best I could do. In fact, Swag said there's no way in hell he'd give me a 2023 first for Daniel
Yeah.
Jones. So and I don't blame him. I wouldn't either. So let me just tell you what I've got on this team. And Shane, I don't know if you were here, but this Flea Flicker League is one of my longest standing super flex leagues that I've ever been in. When I met people on Twitter, I used to win my division and be in the playoffs, and I've won the league a few times, but I'm actually last in my division in this one. But I have Mahomes. Okay, so that's a good start, right? I have Rodgers. Mahomes and Rodgers, which used to be a deadly combo for quite a number of years. But now I have Sam Darnold in place of Daniel Jones and the first round pick. I have Sam Howell, right? I'm still a believer in him a little bit. And then I have some backups. I don't really have anything to write home about. And I have Matt Corral. So I do like that I have Howell and Corral from last year's draft. I like both of those guys, but I only have Mahomes and man, what the hell happened to Aaron Rodgers? Man, that guy needs to shut up, stop worrying about MVPs and start playing some football. Win some games.
But
God.
he's gonna still play. He's gonna still play next year. He's gonna be around.
He'll be a starter.
So you have starters anyway. So then definitely I like it for you, especially if you don't care about the player. It is funny when you say, well, I have Mahomes and Rodgers. So then when you say that, then of course you do that deal, then you picked up a first and all that kind of stuff. So, and the great thing is you gave away a 24 second and you got a 24 first. So,
it doesn't affect my draft this year at all.
Yeah, exactly. What were you saying, Shane?
Yeah, I was just gonna say this is selling high on what's his name? Daniel Jones.
Jones. I know, right? I've never been a big fan, but
yeah, and I get what Swags is doing, like 107, the cost for a starting quarterback, the 107, and the refuse that he added probably doesn't feel like a lot to him. And you're hoping that Daniel Jones is closer to the Daniel Jones you saw this year when he was the QB 10 as opposed to the QB 17 and 21 or the QB 29 and 2020. I get it. I can't buy in on Daniel Jones. I can't. I'm trying.
I can't either. No, I can't either. And I think that's probably what Mike, what you were thinking too. Like long term, what's Daniel Jones? I mean, honestly, he's a replacement level guy. I tried to get Jimmy Garoppolo instead of Darnold, but I insisted on getting one of his quarterbacks back, somebody that was serviceable, or maybe I could move at some point. Garoppolo made the most sense because if he gets a starter's job, then he's obviously more valuable than Darnold, of course, regardless of what you think of him. But it is what it is. I did it. Mike, but we the three of us, none of us have ever been fans of Daniel Jones, right, Mike? I remember talking to you and it's just not. I mean, no matter how well he's done, you just can't get behind that guy.
I remember being at the draft too when that happened, and so many people were so upset when they drafted him. And even back in those days, we were with DFF at the time, and I remember who is it? There's one of our close friends of the show. I'm blanking out.
Can't remember his name. Our close friend. We don't know.
Super close friend.
I love this guy.
That's mean. No, I know it. Shut up. And he's a Giants fan.
Well, as many people as you know,
upset.
Mike, I'm surprised you remember anybody's name.
Oh my God.
Panera?
And of course, this is the first time we're on.
Is his name Kari, and does he play on The Walking Dead?
Shut up.
About Panera?
No, I'm not talking about him.
He would not forget Panero's name.
Was it Bobby Koch? Was that it, Bobby Koch?
He wasn't at DFF. So.
No, I know he wasn't, but he was somebody that we talked to a lot when we were DFF. Yeah, but I don't know. I think he's a Giants fan, and he was really upset.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was a Giants fan. You're right. I'm just saying
there was a lot of people upset at the time. But I will say this: the thing I love about dealing with somebody like Swags, we've talked about this kind of stuff over the years on doing this show. When you're in leagues with people, and you make trades with people and you start doing this for long enough, you get to understand people's tendencies and what they like to do and what they do. Like we know how Shane does a deal. We know how, Jeremy, we know the thing about Swags. Every time I've ever dealt with him, he is always upfront about everything. He's always like, look, I want this guy. I want him. What do we got to do it? Blah, 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 blah. He doesn't like play around.
It might be hard to make a deal, but he never pulls anything shady, or he never misrepresents what he's doing. For sure.
It always seems he's upfront. At least anytime I've ever dealt with him, he's always been blunt about this is what I'm looking for and this is what I want.
Yes, sir.
And I think it's interesting. So especially when you go into a trade like that where you don't care one way or the other about the piece he wants, you're sitting in a good position for you, and then he gets what he wants, so he's happy too. So I think both sides of that trades work. So what's this next one here with Jimmy Garoppolo on here? Is that
Jimmy.
Jeremy also, or is that Shane?
That's Shane.
Not me.
Yeah, I made a huge big boy trade in Dynasty trades in 5 listener league. I think.
Well, and it's funny because I say the Jimmy Garoppolo trade, but it's only because his is the first name on it. The pieces on it are way better.
Jimmy Garoppolo is the third most consequential.
Oh, dude, yeah. Fields in the second, yeah.
Yeah, I gave up Fields.
But look what he gets.
I gave up Fields in a second, and I got Breece Hall and Jimmy
Breece Hall.
Boo.
And it's funny because Breece Hall is like, it just says B Hall and it's smaller print than the rest. So you can miss it kind of quickly, So you gave up Fields and the 212 and you got Jimmy Garoppolo and Breece Hall. I like getting Jimmy and Breece Hall. I would do that definitely. I like that, even without asking you what you have on your team, Shane.
Trevor Lawrence and Jimmy Garoppolo at quarterback now.
Gross.
Disgusting. I love Trevor Lawrence and Jimmy Garoppolo. Look, whatever, QB 15 next year, QB 16. Justin Fields
probably up there.
I like Justin Fields' upside. Obviously, I am a little concerned. He was creeping up in being one of my most rostered QBs in Superflex leagues.
You felt a little overextended. You wanted to diversify.
Yeah, I did not feel great about looking on Dynasty Planet and going, hey, okay, so we've got Deshaun Watson. Awesome. Trevor Lawrence, fine with that. Justin Fields, right at the top. I was like, I want to hedge that a little more.
Man, I'll tell you what, I liked what you said with Fields included. That's kind of like how I like to stratify my quarterback room, just like you said with those 3 guys. That would be perfect for me. I have teams where I have Rodgers, Mahomes, and Fields, let's say. So I have like the old idiot Mahomes, right? MVP caliber guy. And then I have Fields, and I feel those are my top 3. And I feel comfortable having that. I feel like, it sets me up for good. I get why you did this. I think it's an even trade. I think both of you, it's like a mutual sort of deal there, but I'm pretty sure I want the field side. I know you love Breece Hall. I know you think he's the best running back in the league, but dude, that's going to change like so quickly year over year. Whereas if Fields can do better than his other seasons and be more like he was last year and get some consistency out of that, that's a huge win for you to have on your roster because you didn't overpay for Fields, right? You got him before he had this great season, I would imagine, maybe.
No,
anyway,
I think he would have probably.
I'm not about running backs. I like. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I don't think Fields was one of those guys that you could get cheap. I think in those rookie drafts, Fields was going in those top picks, wasn't he?
You could get him pretty decently cheap last year, at the end of last year.
No, but I'm saying you got him in the draft. I'm talking about you got him in the draft. You didn't get him
in the
cheap.
Startup draft. I traded for him.
But in rookie drafts, he was not cheap. He was right. He was a first round guy in rookie drafts, wasn't he?
He was one of the top quarterbacks. So.
That's what I'm saying. So when Jeremy said getting him cheap, I don't think unless you got him some other way. Yeah, in rookie drafts, I don't think he was cheap. That's all I was saying.
I guess the rabbit hole that I'm going down is like Shane. We saw him make the trade with our patron and friend Keith Jackson, and I think it was Keith, where he traded away Kenneth Walker for Chris Olave. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. So I'm trading Breece Hall away for a receiver. I'm getting Justin Fields. I'm kind of like that way about it. I saw our buddy Swags again. We've plugged him twice on this show. he's he's like, oh, I'll do that in a heartbeat. Give me Kenneth Walker, I'll give you Olave. Those running backs can win the league for you, but they're just not long for the gig. They're not
No,
for
you're right.
long. And so it could work out where Walker's a perennial star and something happens to Olave. But I think in the short run, if you can get a wide receiver that's doing those kind of numbers in their rookie year, I want that over the running back that did okay his rookie year. I think you're probably playing at the odds.
I definitely want Olave over Walker for what that's worth. And generally, I probably want Fields over Brees, but in this particular league, I figured let me get 2 starters out of the deal. The 212 not likely a starter. Let me just try and mix it up. Also, like I said, just a little overexposed on Fields. And I was looking to move him in a couple leagues, man. And I was trying the whole Fields for Lamar Jackson thing, and nobody was biting, and Fields for Kyler, and nobody was biting. So,
yeah,
this is a deal I could make. I saw Brees Hall go on the block. So I just went for it.
Well, let me say this. There's 2 things about it. You could probably trade Brees Hall for something else anyways, which I've seen you do. But you've said it now 3 times about this trade, that starter. So you believe, no matter what, 100% that Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be a starter in the 2023 season. What if he's not?
Somewhere. He will be.
But what if he's not?
So that was my reason for wanting him in that one trade, is that he'll be a starter or at least in the mix somewhere. But you think he will be for sure, right, Shane?
Yeah, certainly. There's absolutely no doubt that he's a starter somewhere. As bad as the quarterback play is in the rest of the league, like there's several situations I could use him. Throw him in New Orleans, Las Vegas. Yeah. Like everyone can't get Tom Brady. So, wherever he doesn't land, all right, let's stick Jimmy Garoppolo in there. Now, no, he's not. It's going to
be weird.
He's not a top 8 quarterback, but he's a guy that can at least hold the fort for you for a little bit.
Yep. It's going to be weird. I think we have a lot coming up in the next bunch of months. The off season.
Musical chairs at quarterback. It's going to be crazy. I think.
Yeah, but the off season is one of the most fun times for what we do. We've been doing this for 5 years now. And, when the season comes, you're really into it. You're in the mix. You're making adjustments on the fly. But in the off season, we get to talk about so many different things, and we get to have a lot of guests on, and we get to do mock drafts, and we always see like spike in downloads and viewers and listeners during the off season because it's the most fun. But for right now, I think what we're going to do, let's do like one last trade, wrap this up. We're going to talk about some of the stuff we're going to be doing in the next couple of months because we have a lot coming up, and doing this stuff online, or video. I think this is, I almost said video recording. It's
fun, man.
Whatever.
But like,
it's fun to do it this way, and people can see. Because one thing I will say, I've seen your guys' reactions for years, but other people have not. So I think it's going to be interesting to some people to see some of the reactions that we
some people have. Yeah, some people told me they didn't even think we were real people. They thought we were AI bots until they saw us on video, and they were like, "Oh, you're a real human." And I'm like, "Wow,
yeah,
strong word, but yes."
Or you've been telling people forever that I'm so old. I mean, maybe I look
and
old.
They were like, "Oh my God, he is."
I got this gray beard going on right here. I got to shave, but look, it's been a lot of fun doing this. I think we should keep doing this. It's great. Let's do one more trade. Shane, do you have a good one? Did you want to do? I mean, we did Jeremy's trade.
Yeah,
good one.
I want to go out winning. I want to go out on a win. Made a trade with our buddy Keith Jackson, Dynasty Jacks, and he told us at Twitter. The trade was I gave up the 108, and he gave me Christopher Godwin and Michael Gallup. And right now, Twitter believes that I am winning this by a 65 to 34% margin. I don't know what the margin of error is. Pretty significant. I got the Chris Godwin, Michael Gallup side. I don't care about Michael Gallup. I would have paid the 108 straight up for Chris Godwin.
Yeah. And we just talked about one of your trades last week with Gallup, and we were like, whatever. Good pick, good trade.
I was going to ask you, do you care about the Gallup part? Because what's funny is before you finished that trade, he had sent me a trade offer that only involved Gallup, and I had declined it because I have no interest in him. So when I saw you did the trade, that's what I was wondering. Did you care at all about Gallup, or if it was only Chris Godwin?
No. And I even told him because he was like, "Oh, you accepted that early," and I'm like, "Well, no, I like Jax, or I like Godwin. I'm
Godwin,
still in
yeah.
on him.
I like Jax too. He's a good dude.
Yeah, good dude." But
Yeah,
I
he
was
is.
like, I told him if I wasn't as tired as I was, I would have countered and tried to get a running back out of you instead of Michael Gallup.
Instead of
But I didn't
Gallup,
have the
yeah.
energy. I just did accept. I was like, I'm fine with this. This works.
Let me ask you this.
That's great.
With Tampa, before we wrap this up, you say you're still in on Godwin. Obviously, everybody's saying Brady's gone. And I don't know. I don't think Kyle Trask is the quarterback. So what do you think is going to happen there with a quarterback? Do you think they're going to draft something, or are they going to, they're going to have, what is it? It's a high draft. A late draft pick. So are they going to bring a vet in? We talk about all these different landing spots for quarterbacks, but I never hear anybody. I never hear anybody say anything about Tampa, who they're going to bring in Tampa. So if you're still in on Godwin, doesn't it kind of matter who's going to be the quarterback there?
Not really. Look, you've heard me say this before. As long as if you're a good wide receiver, you're going to be good, unless your quarterback is just absolutely atrocious, like Brock Osweiler level.
Look what Olave did with Winston and
Andy
Dalton. Seriously. Yeah. Really amazing season with those
Winston's
two
not garbage.
Notwithstanding PFF's ranking of Andy Dalton last year. But,
I want Winston to have a starting job this year.
I want him to be better than he is.
I still have him on every one of my freaking teams. Almost, I think I have Winston. Shane, you're always talking about your percentage. I think I have Winston in like 90% of my rosters.
Maybe he ends up there. Maybe
Winston back in
Tampa.
That would be so hilarious. Awesome. I would love. I still have my Winston Mike Evans autograph on my wall.
It was the saddest year ever when that all went down for Mike. Remember, he was sad.
All right, let's wrap this up then. It's been a lot of fun, guys. You guys are awesome, and we already told everybody about our Patreon. And go check out all our social media: Twitter, YouTube, iTunes, maybe TikTok, all that stuff at Dynasty Trades HQ.
Dynasty Trades HQ.
And become a patron and have some fun with us. And Jeremy will start pumping some stuff out, since he's the most active Twitter person in the entire world, of some of the upcoming things that we have coming up.
Off season, baby. Because you summarized it, Mike, for this show. Hey, the season's over for a lot of shows and for a lot of people, but the season's just starting for us. The off season is our season. We're good all season long too. We're there, every bit of it with you guys. But the off season, this is when we have our most fun and do the best stuff. So yeah, stay along for the one tweet I send every week, please.
And just piggybacking off what Mike said, the more money you give me, the more fun you can have with me.
I like that about you.
And there are some other ways you can help, Shane, but we'll talk about that in a different time.
There's not a lot of boundaries, just whatever,
Oh my God. Say goodbye, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week. Safe word.
Shane just said safe word. Say goodbye, Shane.
I haven't said safe word in a while. Goodbye, Shane.
Oh my God.